Hopefully, you can sign in. All to order. Welcome to the GBT Carter County Commission meeting. In the unlikely event they need to exit the building, our primary evacuation route is the south entrance, which is the monument side. This goes to the back parking lot. If we can't exit that way, please take the stairway and exit to the back of the building, so you don't have to go to the front of the building. And do not take the elevators. If you need restrooms, handicap is on this floor, and then down the hall also. That's handicap accessibility. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and call roll. And we'll say we have a couple people absent. Mr. Brown's husband was having some serious illness, as we all know, so please keep him in your prayer. Congratulations to Commissioner Odom on a brand new grandbaby.
Oh, yay.
So,
Oh,
right there. I'm not here from the other commissioners.
gee whiz. Oh, God.
Babies are important, Brad.
If you look over the agenda, and I'm almost afraid to say this, but I don't think there's any changes on the agenda for the first time in a longer.
Yeah.
No, the Motorola is not going to be on at this time. Is that correct, Mayor?
That's correct.
They met today and has to go through some budget or.
Correct, there'll be a change order forthcoming for the 29th commission meeting that the commission can review.
So, I don't think there's any other changes or any changes, so if I can have a motion to accept the agenda. Dr. Thomas and Commissioner Paulson made the second. Is there any discussion? All right, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed. The open prayer by Dr. Aiko and pledge by.
You'll bow with me. Heavenly Father, as we approach the Board of Review Law, we're here today with grateful hearts, mindful of the blessings of liberty that have been entrusted to our nation for nearly 250 years. We thank you for the courage, sacrifice, and vision of those who established the United States and secured the freedoms we enjoy today. Many of those men and women were Carter Countyans as they defeated the British at the Battle of Kings Mountain, and we thank them for their ability and wisdom to preserve liberty, justice, and opportunity for future generations. We ask your guidance upon the members of this commission as they serve the people of Carter County. Give them discernment, integrity, a spirit of cooperation in all decisions before them. Bless our county, our state, our nation, and unite us in a shared commitment to the common good. We think today also of our first responders in Carter County. We ask that you have your hand on them. May we always be grateful for the freedoms we have, faithful stewards of our responsibilities, and respectful of one another as fellow citizens. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you about to recognize the elected officials and appointed guests? You'll please stand. Have time to look at the minutes for May 18th. Is there any changes? If not, I'll take a motion. Motion made by Commissioner Holtzclaw, second by Commissioner Kemp. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote to accept the minutes. Thank you, motion passed. I'll have the approval of the
Bradley J. Souders, Elizabeth Williams, Jessica York, Lauren K. King, Madison Grace McClellan, Lauren M. Royston, Randy L. Tribbett, Sam J. Laporte, Wendy Mayhem, Jeannie Holder, Stephanie Grindstaff, Andrew Laporte, Emily Kaiser Blair, Louise P. Brown, J. M. Stewart, Angel Marie Watson.
Motion made by Commissioner Akins, second by Commissioner Childs. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, all, yes, it's one. Okay, tourism. It's going to come up and make a quick presentation.
That's a yes, but
Go back and check it.
I'll vote with which one line.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to, he meant to. There's somebody vote no.
Right. I didn't know if they were relative or somebody.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name's Veronica Alsop, and I'm not sure if I know everybody, but I know half of the room, so this is great. I'm actually the director at the Elizabethton Chamber of Commerce, and I've actually been overseeing the visitor center. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for trusting us over at the Chamber and the Visitor Center with, the funding and stuff. And going forward, I'm really, really hoping not to be as nervous. I swore I wasn't going to come up with a piece of paper, but we've got a presentation. So I heard we need to make it brief. The first thing that I wanted to ask is, I know that a lot of you prefer handouts to kind of follow as you go. We have, I think, about 25 slides, but it'll go quick. If I could get maybe a show of hands who does prefer a handout for next time we present, so that I can go ahead and bring some of those. And I know how many. Okay, all right, thank you very much. I just want to kind of talk about really brief about what we've been doing, what it's like. So what I've been doing is, here we go. All right, so the transition period has been a little bit challenging. A lot of organization, a lot of restructuring. I've been working a lot with Alicia Phelps over here, and we've just kind of been looking at what we have, what's been done, what we need to continue to do, what's important, and just a lot of cleanup with where the money was going. What our return of investments been, our partnerships, what value they are bringing. And that's really been the most challenging and the most time-consuming piece so far. But with that being said, we've got most of it cleaned up. It's definitely an ongoing process. But the visitor center has seen a lot more traffic. And I think that the reason is because we've got some friendly faces in there. And my staff, sometimes she apologized, she said, I'm sorry, was that too long? I said, no, that's not too long. I said, these people, when they come into the visitor center, I want them to leave with a smile. If they're gonna leave us a Google review, they're gonna leave us a good Google review. And they're staying, they're chatting with us. They just said, you know, you're running some surveys in regards to, hey, where are you from? What brings you to the area? What is it that you'd like to know a little bit more? So just adding that personable touch and spending the time with them and that whatever we require, and they, just to keep them happy. And one of the things that I've been trying to do, and you can see a little bit more through my slide on that, is the partnerships. So the partnerships just with people out here in the area, as far as the vendors, what do we have in the visitor center right now and what value is it bringing to the visitors? Because a lot of these people are visiting, or a lot of people are actually locals that are coming in and they're looking to ship some items out to their relatives or somebody that they visited or whatever impact they're trying to make. But that is one thing that that I'm looking into a little bit more. The Allegiant advertising campaign, a lot of you are aware that we had that. It's been great value. Earlier this year, Heather in February reached out and she wanted to do an article on Carter County. So it's gonna be in July and August. And it's wonderful because I was able to work with her and also work with people in Carter County. Not just focusing downtown, but just in the whole county. So I got one marina, I got Roan Mountain State Park, and then I've got somebody from downtown, which is Hellbender. And they said, you know, when a family's coming in to visit, give us, you know, something that's gonna showcase your county and your area. So they aren't here, they're visiting for the day. And so we were able to work very closely with all of them, and that article is gonna come out, and I'm really looking forward to that. We are definitely gonna be handing off the Allegiant over to Alicia, because again, their more expertise is with the marketing and the pictures and all of that. But she can go ahead and touch base a little bit more on that. Oops, sorry. The current sponsorships, sorry, Alicia. Anthony, I think I need you up here. The current sponsorships that we've been doing are basically the same ones that Luke was doing in regards to the regional. So we've got the Firefly 5K that's coming up. We have, why is this thing not going? We've got Liberty, and I've got those numbers as well. Liberty that we're sponsoring, the River Riders. We've got the Independence Day with the Parks and Rec, and also the Goose Chase, which they do 5Ks. We went ahead and sponsored the May 4th Be With You, and we went ahead and sponsored the Miles and Music and Miles. But again, these are just the sponsorships that I have that I'm working with directly with the people, and we are knowing what we're getting in return. We are just working alongside with them and knowing what it is specifically we are doing, who needs the space, who doesn't, and we're also working with a lot of local people and a lot of local independent groups to utilize the space at the visitor center so that when they do have events, people can come by, and it showcases it, whether, I mean, the newspaper's done a great job of covering a lot of those, but it's just showcasing the visitor center, who we are, what we are. Again, we are very, very welcoming, and that's what we're trying to do a little bit more of. I will wrap it up just with saying, again, the partnerships, I do have them written down. The partnerships that, if you go into the visitor center right now, we have a new picture. It's the rhododendrons, which is up in Roan Mountain, but there's a local artist, and I reached out to him, and he has a canvas display at the Americano. And I just thought that was such a beautiful piece. So I reached out to him and I just said, hey, would you like to come down to the visitor center, see what we have, maybe hang up some of your stuff. So now if you come by, you can see it. But that is what I think that it's all about, is having these connections and getting out and reaching out to people and supporting each other. And he's gonna bring by some postcards, and he's gonna bring by a little bit more of his stuff. But again, those are the things that we've been doing. We've been really, really busy. If anybody has any questions at all, you can ask now, or you can ask afterwards. You can also ask, anytime when you want to come by the visitor center and sit and chat. I'd love to sit down and talk to you guys and see if any ideas or feedback, good feedback, not so good feedback, or whatever it is. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Alicia Phelps. Thank you.
See you.
Good evening. Thank you, Veronica, and happy Rhododendron Festival Week. My name is Alicia. I'm with Northeast Tennessee Tourism, and again, we just want to thank you for this opportunity to share our first quarterly update. While our partnership has only began just a few months ago, I hope you'll see today through these quick slides that we've moved fast to establish a foundation for stronger tourism economy in Carter County. I also just want to introduce you to staff members Sarah Fleming and Carrie Morton, who's with us tonight. Both are actively involved in a daily basis to help promote Carter County. Here's a QR code. Veronica mentioned printing, but you can also access this report with the QR code. We just wanted to save a couple trees from not printing all the slides, but if you do need it emailed or printed, happy to do that for you as well. Between the three partners that we have here, there's a lot of info and slides. If you want to look at that more, do let us know. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's been accomplished since March 26th with a portion of your lodging tax dollars that have been invested and what opportunities are ahead. Every visitor who spends the night here, they support local lodging partners, right? They support the restaurants, retailers, attractions, and outdoor rec businesses. Our focus from day one has been ensuring that the county is positioned to capture more of those visitor dollars, creating sales tax revenue for you, which is not restricted, while building pride among the folks that live here, as well as our partners. Since March, we have received lodging tax dollars for March, April, and May, and that has allowed us to begin implementation with some strategic initiatives that we talked about earlier. So rather than immediately spending those resources on isolated programs, our first priority is evaluating what has been done previously, finding gaps in those programs, and creating a sustainable tourism marketing strategy. We focused on 5 key areas: increasing awareness as a visitor destination, strengthening social media, which you can see here, and digital presence, pursuing grant funding and outside resources, expanding print and digital, and preparing major campaigns for critical fall and winter travel seasons. One thing that we really want to emphasize is this does take groundwork, and we're just starting. The systems, content, photography, data collection that we have, these partnerships that are being established, we hope will continue to deliver value much after this quarter. One of the fastest wins that we have seen through social media activation has been the renaming of the Hey Carter County social media accounts. We've generated more than 51,000 people, over 100,000 impressions, and gained more than 300 new followers across Facebook and Instagram. What's really encouraging about this is the engagement that has been achieved through combining organic content and targeting boosting, meaning people are actively responding to your story. We like to showcase the authentic experiences that you can see in these photos. They're seeking outdoors, local community events, scenic beauty. The Veterans Memorial Park here in downtown did really, really well, and unique experience around the county and the attractions within it. This report report reflects, or I'm sorry, moving up to our organic content, our most successful content reached more than 20,000 users, which is significant engagement, shares, and interactions. Here's our top three. What's particularly noteworthy is where this attention is coming from: Charlotte, Knoxville, and Little Rock. Those are drive markets. They align perfectly with your tourism strengths, and Little Rock is new for Carter County, so we're still working and seeing what is it that they'd like to see, and why do they want to come visit us, and how can we help facilitate that. These results are telling us that folks want to visit. They're staying in our region, they're paying attention in Carter County, and the opportunity is now to continue converting awareness into those overnight stays. Now moving into the digital campaigns, note that we've only been doing this for about a month digitally at this level. So the first 3 weeks of the campaign, this is the activity. They should be viewed as an early performance snapshot. And this will continue to be monitored every month as we aggressively market the region and look at future locations, as well as location targeting, audience quality, landing page activity, which I'll go over quickly, and ad creative. And based on what we've seen in the past, Nashville, Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Roanoke, and Lynchburg were big markets for you all. So we're looking into those with these campaigns right now. We're serving ads to them. These numbers really stood out here. In 1 month alone, almost 9,000 people clicked on an image that saw Carter County through an ad. And over 3,500 of those went to the Carter County website. These are the top 2 ads. We ran 5, and the most popular one evoked emotion with families, featuring the Blue Hole. After they went to the website, I thought these were really impressive numbers for about a month's run, and they can show us how future campaigns are going to look. And the folks that we are targeting, they're very interested, good, lucrative leads. The visitor guide was the most popular page, as you can see here on that chart, and that also followed by where to stay, which is what we want. And we've also started receiving snail mail requests for the visitor guide in the mail, which is really hard leads, and that's what we want to see. Also wanted to share a little bit of an internal benchmark. According to your previous campaigns in 2025, over 12 months, about 43,000 social ad clicks took place, and then this was our first 3 weeks, so we netted almost 9,000 clicks, and that could end up being over 12 months if you averaged it out, roughly 153,000 clicks. So we're on a roll here, and it looks great. In our first 2 months, we also have secured 2 grants for Carter County. One includes access to short-term rental data that provides info on the locations, the revenue, reviews, platform usage, and occupancy trends. For the first time, we have a stronger understanding of how visitors are using these accommodations in the county. Our second grant coordinated fresh digital photography, and that's going to focus on lodging, outdoor recreation, Watauga Lake, Wilbur Lake trails, food experiences, and Sycamore Shoals. It's actually tomorrow and Wednesday, and those images will support social media, advertising campaigns, website, media, and partner promotions for all of us, however you would like to use them. As I near the end, while digital is very important, print continues to still play a significant role in travel and those decisions. Carter County is currently being promoted, as Veronica mentioned, in the Allegiant Nonstop Life magazine, Tennessee Hunting and Fishing Guide, continued visitor guide distributions, and editorial coverage in Smoky Mountain Living. This puts you directly in front of audiences interested in travel, specifically in outdoor recreation and destination experiences. One exciting example is the inclusion of Row Mountains Above the Clouds experience. It's a top 10 thing to do in Northeast Tennessee, and that is featured in Smoky Mountain Living in this month's issue. And these are the types of third-party endorsements that provide credibility. It's not just an ad, and they help elevate the county's profile among those visitors. What's next? What we've done in the first couple of months, I think, is something that we all should be really proud of. I know we are. And I really want to emphasize that we're just getting started. Between January and May, Carter County reported 236 short-term rental bookings with an average nightly rate of $149. Occupancy approached 50%, which is really, really promising. You're outperforming some of our friends across county lines. Visitors stayed an average of 4.5 days, and 72% of those were outside Tennessee. Those numbers matter because they represent new dollars coming into the county. They're spending money on recreation and restaurants primarily, as you saw in that slide. And we emerged markets from Tampa, Charlotte, and Cincinnati. So we'll look into them for fall and winter. And then also note in this photo here that Veronica was able to go to Knoxville to the Bassmaster Classic, which y'all hosted the college bracket last year. She went, and we were able to work out a partnership with Tennessee River Valley, in which we did have Carter County there for a day as we kind of look at a larger presence there in 2027. So they were really happy to see the host of last year's tournament there again. I just want to thank you all, commissioners and mayor, for your trust and investment in this partnership. We've established a brand presence, expanded our audience. We've got valuable destination assets that we can now work with. We've got grants, and we're ready to roll. We're really excited. Tourism growth doesn't happen overnight. We believe the county possesses some of the most remarkable natural and cultural assets in this state, and it's our mission to ensure more people know about them and discover them. And we just appreciate the opportunity to serve the county and what we can accomplish together. And so I'll ask Mr. Rose up to give us a quick little update about air service. Hopefully our couple.
Had nothing to do with the sinkhole. Thank you for, I'll be quick, I'm the last one. And so we really do appreciate the commitment that Carter County's made to air service. I want to give an update. We host, when I say host, so we facilitate an air service committee made up of the communities on the left. At our last meeting, Carter County was also represented in that meeting, Rogersville, Tennessee, and we have our first member across the state line, Scott County, Virginia, has joined the air service board. That is what we want, is growth across state lines, because this airport serves more than just communities in Northeast Tennessee. This is a timeline we put together because when we talked before, we was like, the most important thing that we can get out of this is organic growth. In other words, we don't want to have to incentivize every flight, every destination that comes as an opportunity. And so since our last conversation, American is starting flights to Chicago. United will be starting flights to Chicago direct starting in October. So with just those flights, we see an increase in growth at the airport, and we're just happy that it's most of it is unincentivized growth, which helps the region even more. This is our air service partners. We always like to put this up. On the left, you'll see the communities that have committed funds to support air service, and then the state and private companies are on the right. And Bridge, me being the executive director, we are a privately funded economic development group. So no money given by the communities for air service goes for our operating expense. It is 100% for air service. Our overhead and operating expenses is covered by major corporations in the area, which allows us the freedom to go out and raise the $2 billion and go 100% to incentivize getting new air service to try. Some numbers: between February and April, the Orlando flight increased a little over 15%. Some of that is time of the year, but we do see continued growth. I'll get an update later this week or first of next week on what May will be looking like. The DC flight is not growing as fast as the Orlando flight, but that is expected. Orlando is a major tourism destination. DC is tourism and business. But the Orlando flight, I would say, is exceeding expectations, and we're very happy with the numbers that we see on that flight. And DC is meeting expectations. So I'm surprised by the numbers there. but it does take time to grow a market. The average airline, when they move into a new market, takes around 18 months before they get to where they need to be. So the MRG, the minimum revenue guarantee, helps them get to the 18-month mark and establish a market here and allow for more flights to be increased. Another project, we don't just work on air service. We were asked to look at charter air service because we need direct flights to other locations. More than 80 individuals and companies responded to the survey across the region, and the highlighted sunshade or red as locations that people in this region would like to have other direct flights to. So it was, and that survey was from both sides of the state line, both Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We appreciate, again, in closing, your help, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Also, we appreciate the partnership with Alicia and Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. It means a lot to work with partners that do a great job and are so supportive of regional projects such as air service and growing tourism. We greatly appreciate your time. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we're down to number 11. This one says, Commissioner Frazier came in. Okay, we're down to the Frazier report.
Good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that your reports are in your packet. They would be your financial statements, also your fund balance report, and your emergency spend list is in there. The majority of what we're seeing right now is for the road construction and renovation projects. So just to kind of highlight that. A couple of other things I want to mention. We have one reimbursement in process. It's a little over $1 million. We'll also note, though, because of the end of the fiscal year coming both for the county and for TEMA state as well, that process has slowed a little bit, so we may not see that money until July or close to the beginning of August. We'll see. It is in process, but it's moving very slowly. We do have another amendment that we're going to be looking at in the not too distant future, but right now we're holding on to that because we're waiting for a couple of other projects to get obligated, and we want to maximize that amendment because that'll be a pretty significant amount of money that we will be able to ask reimbursements for. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, unless somebody has any questions.
Is there any questions? Okay, thank you. Number 12, Mr. Stout has decided he does not want to be a financial manager. So you need to nominate financial management.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Ms. Whaley, Commissioner Whaley.
Okay, Mr. Whaley.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Chairwoman Kelly Collins.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Collins. Is there anyone else? Okay, we'll do a voice vote. So you'll be voting for financial management until the end of the term, and then we'll be nominating for new people again after the election. If you will just vote either for Commissioner Whaley or Commissioner Collins.
Keith Range. Dr. Acuff.
Collins.
Avery Nguyen. Julie Gwynn, Brad Johnson,
Wiley.
Steve Burrow,
Wiley.
Gary Kemp,
Wiley.
Lisa Childers,
Wiley.
Charlene Thomas, Donnie Cable,
Wiley.
Jason Clausen,
Wiley.
Todd Smith,
Wiley.
Darrell Whaley, Leslie Hughes, Collins, Barry Frazier,
Wiley.
Wes Hostball,
Collins.
Kelly Collins, Thomas Prophet,
Collins.
Up to 6, and Commissioner Wiley, thank you, serving. And we're now to public comments. As always, you have 5 minutes. Your state your name, what district you're from.
Right, Commissioners, my name is Brittany Schell, and I'm the Executive Director of the Elizabethton Senior Center. Most of you know who I am. Before I begin, I want to tell you that my assistant, Aaliyah, here is passing out a document that I emailed you all on Friday. And this is me not here to sway your opinion, as I understand that you have already made your decision. But in good conscience, I have to walk away understanding that I need to plan responsibly for the future of the Senior Center. So this is all me walking away saying I've done everything I can. The document that she's passing out, and I don't know if any of you looked at it, does not include the Senior Center's operating budget. It is all of our federal restricted funds. And historically, this has never been included in our operating budget because it is not operational expenses. They're programs that are specifically tied to contracts, services, eligibility requirements, and reporting obligations. I told you all, well, just the budget committee, that I apply for every 4 years to bring meals, to bring transportation assistance, to bring caregiving, to bring, help in the home, help bathing. These are all funds that we get, but not necessarily it goes through the center. And to assume that we can pull from one to the other is actually an assumption that's very harmful to us. And I have got confirmation from the state that if we cannot meet operational guidelines, we can potentially not qualify for all of this funding that we're bringing into Carter County, which totals in services over $135,000. My bookkeeper will speak later on the specifics. And I want to let you all know that the purpose of this is not to suggest that if all these funds disappear immediately and county funding is removed, rather I want to demonstrate that services that flow through our organization and the broader impact that could occur over time if the operational infrastructure required to administer all of these programs you're looking at is weakened. So I realized that when I was here with the budget committee, you all know, I'm very emotionally charged. This is very personal for me. So while you all see numbers, I see their faces. And I didn't do a very good job of explaining it. I didn't come in prepared to speak. I didn't have my budget in front of me. So I want to kind of let you all know that I was asked repeatedly what line items I would cut. And I want to answer that honestly, because of course I've reviewed our budget extensively that I present to you all. And the truth of it is that the budget, our operating budget, not what you're looking at is what I qualify for to bring in to serve all of our I can't cut anything from my operating budget. It's bare bones, and I won't. I will not cut anything from the operating budget. It puts our entire organization, all the people throughout the county that get meals, that get a bath once a week, it puts all of that at risk, and I won't cut anything. My concern has never been that if the center is defunded by the county, that we close July 1st. My concern has never been that the services will disappear overnight. My concern is what happens over time when operational support that we've had for almost half a century from local organizations in Carter County. I'm concerned that it will help us over time not meet the compliance requirements to manage these contracts, to continue to have the supporting staff and position ourselves in a way where we can continue to bring all of these funds into Carter County. The issue is not whether the transportation funding exists or whether there is a caregiver support program. The issue is not whether the options counseling exists. The issue is that there is a stable local organization capable of administering these programs and meeting the requirements associated with them. I also want to emphasize, because I feel like we're kind of being pitted against the other nonprofits. So I want to make this clear. I have a tremendous respect for all of the nonprofits in this organization, and I partner with many of them. And I wholeheartily, not just as the director, but as a resident who pays taxes, respect the work that they do. Thank you. Well, thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Denny Smith. I am the bookkeeper for the Elizabethton Senior Center. You know, as Brittany said a lot of what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it anyway. Like everybody who works at the center, my job extends far beyond my title. On any given day, I might be balancing the books or answering the phones or helping members solve problems or even cleaning the toilets. We all do whatever needs to be done because we care deeply about the people that we serve. Last week, I sat in this room and I listened to someone harshly criticize our director. Tonight, I feel a responsibility to speak, not for our staff, but for the seniors who depend on us every day. We've all been provided with some information regarding funding that this community receives through contracts from the First Tennessee Development District. Most of those funds, as Brittany mentioned, are restricted. We have never actually possessed them. They can't be used for operating expenses. They support services like Meals on Wheels, transportation, caregiver assistance, options counseling, home assessments, and other critical programs for local seniors. The unrestricted portion, which is also in that packet, is just $10,280, which has always been included in our operational budget. What matters is this. Through those contracted services alone, the Senior Center helps to bring $134,610 into Carter County this year. That's just this year. But those services don't exist without infrastructure. To fulfill our contracts, we are required to provide office space, utilities, internet, equipment, administrative support, staff, to continue bringing those services to Carter County. We have to first be able to keep our doors open. And for nearly 50 years, county support has helped us to make that possible. At the same time, we're not asking the county to carry us through memberships, donations, grants, fundraising, and community support. We generate between 23 and 26% of our own operating budget. We've worked hard to reduce our dependence on county funding because we understand the financial challenges this county faces. We also understand hardship. When Hurricane Helene impacted our community, the Senior Center stepped up. We provided meals, distributed supplies, and helped families as they rebuilt. When our community needed help, we showed up. Last week, Commissioner Hughes repeatedly asked, what would we cut if the county funding disappeared on July 1? And that answer, like Brittany said, is simple. There's nothing. There's nothing we can cut. Our budget is already bare bones. Last year, one employee voluntarily stepped down from full-time to part-time to help reduce costs. Today, we operate with only 2 full-time employees, 1 part-time employee, and an 81-year-old custodian working 12 hours a week at minimum wage who is now scared she's going to lose her job. None of us receive health insurance. None of us receive retirement benefits. None of us are paid what we're worth. But we continue to show up every day because we believe the seniors of this community matter. People we serve aren't just names on a membership list. They're the people who built this county. They're your constituents, your neighbors, your family members, and your voters. We know them personally. When someone doesn't show up for several days, we notice, we call. Sometimes those calls have led to a wellness check that have found seniors in medical distress, and sadly, sometimes worse. It's not a line item on a spreadsheet. That's human connection. That's community. We've repeatedly invited members of this commission to visit the center and see firsthand what we do, yet only one commissioner has ever walked through our doors. The truth is, we don't want to stand here asking for money. We've spent years working toward greater financial independence because this process is exhausting. It's humiliating. But the reality is that losing $26,500 places at risk a system that helps bring more than 5 times that amount back into this community every year. That's not an expense, that's an investment. So fund us or don't. If you choose not to, we'll continue doing everything in our power to survive. We'll keep fundraising, we'll keep pursuing grants, we'll keep serving the people who depend on us. But if you approve your budget without restoring funding for the center, I hope you understand what that decision means. It's not simply a vote on a line item. It's a statement about the value you place on the seniors of Carter County and the services that they rely on. If this budget passes as written, Carter County will become the only county in this region that chooses not to fund its senior center. It's not a distinction I would be proud of. Thank you. I could go a little further. I had a little bit more. I'm just gonna say the men and women who built this county deserve better than that. And they deserve to know that after a lifetime of contributing to this community, that this community is not forgotten them. Thank you.
Is there anyone else for public comments?
Madam Chair Lady, members of the commission. My name is Gerald Ward. I live 134 Clelo Road here in Elizabeth in District Number 6. This makes the 3rd time I've been behind this podium. First time was a couple of years ago when the county wanted to buy our Masonic Lodge here in Elizabeth, and I thank the Lord that it fell through. A couple, 3 months ago, I shared prematurely talking about the Folsom House. And the reason why, and this coincides with tourism, is Freemasonry, we come on our own free will and accord. I was not asked by Lisa or Teresa to come up here tonight. But I believe in history. Henderson Folsom, he was the son of Malcolm Folsom, was the only commissioned Confederate officer in Carter County. He was a quartermaster. He passed away in 1831. And he was born in 1831 and he passed away in 1908 at 76 years. Him and his wife Sarah is buried up here at Highland Cemetery. One thing about the Carters, the Folsoms, the Taylors, the Duffields, they were all members of the fraternity of Dashiell Lodge in one way or the other. Henderson Folsom was a past master. And I am the current secretary of the lodge. When I go up there and I see James P.T. Carter, who's the grandson of Landon Carter, our first worshipful master, and I say Brother Henderson Folsom, who's also a past pastor, and I say, what can I do? Well, I'm doing this tonight for Brother Folsom. Now, you talk about tourism. If the archives was placed over here at the Folsom House, it would be the center of not only Elizabeth but Carter County, and they could come in and I love Carter County and I love the city of Elizabeth. I was born and raised here, and I'll die here. So I just want to say that I do appreciate all the county commission, that I understand that if it's not used for the archives, please preserve it. That is a picture of history. They've already torn down the Linwood Hotel over here for a parking lot. That was a piece of history. So I do appreciate your attendance, and thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comments? Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break and then we'll start on the next
Yeah, got one line up there. That's cool.
It was not gonna get resolved.
There is a provision policy for it. It has to be around 2 years ago. All passed last year. Live, it has to be. Website, I think that's the reason that we never get it, so we never had it.
Give us a car.
It's gonna be
The county should have
Sushi girls stay on the slate, the next day,
If you see us, it's us.
Veronica's gonna be on our girls. It's okay, we got plenty of girls to be on there. We changed it so it's not 8 a.m., so it's easier. I can't, don't say, because there's so many.
Greta leaves That'd be the worst place. Her and Kira. I'm sorry. Spending 5 years. His grandfather. Supposed to hear me. Half the houses on Spring Street. But they were progressed back to the stores. Too many people start down here you go. That day, they remodeled the street. It's just like when we were gonna get by for the race. So they come in, you got to push on. Because get all the kids to those interviews and just talk. We asked about the budget and start talking about burgers like Coke. Talking about like, yeah, we got the one $100.
Wants to do it. That would be her answer to me. Still supporting me.
I'm sorry, I can't stand beside Johnson.
We stand between them. Oh, God. That's been awful good.
I just said I would host donation.
Where's the boys put the mouth? I just needed to cut back off my back there at the top of my head.
Dog ain't kept it.
Seen you in 6 months.
He ran away. Shows me. 6.
We're dug out here. Edge of it.
So I just happened to.
This. Well, I got one. Where the total go?
I don't think it. She only take care of. I don't like that. It's okay. It's okay. Over it. It's over it. I'm over it.
My laptop.
Okay, we're ready for the budget meeting.
Okay. Motion, number one is motion to approve payment to Shouts Professional Services for invoice number G52226 in the amount of $700.
Second by Commissioner Raines, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Okay, let's vote.
I don't know if she went to the bathroom or here she comes.
Carol, where'd that Murray? Your button.
Mash your button, Carol.
Thank you. Motion passes, one abstain.
All right, number two is motion to approve payment to Shouts Professional Services for invoice number 525026 in the amount of $27,524.90.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed with one no and abstain.
Number three is motion to approve transferring the proceeds of items EMA's on gov deals in the amount of $23,792.22 to a reserve account to be transferred into EMA's budget as needed.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Number four is motion to acknowledge the audited fund balances for all funds as of June 30th, 2025, as the beginning budgeted fund balance for fiscal year 26.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Number five is motion to approve the county fund budget amendment 101-12, items 1 through 16, in the amount of $241,985, with $178,200 coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Hughes, is there any discussion? Usually at the
Budget.
Okay, well, sometimes I think.
Yeah, it says budget.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's. Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, let's vote.
It says I voted.
Yes.
Thank you, motion passed.
Number 6 is motion to approve county fund budget amendment 101-12B, items 1 through 8, in the amount of $615,394.93, with $19,618.93 coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
You kicked me out, but yes. I'll restart.
You're not here.
But I am. Your vote's a yes? Yes, please. 6.
Let's go.
I'll change it on the minute. I'm sure it's
Okay,
recorded
I
correctly.
got you. All right, motion passed, thank you.
Number 7 is motion to approve solid waste fund budget amendment 116-9, items 1 and 2, in the amount of $774,716.12, with nothing coming from reserve accounts, and $515,376.12 coming from the solid waste fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Yes. Thank you, motion passed.
Number 8 is motion to approve ARP Fund Budget Amendment 127-6, items 1 and 2, in the amount of $948,548.02, with $500,580 coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Hughes. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Number 9 is motion to approve Highway Fund Budget Amendment 131-9, items 1 and 2, in the amount of $84,000, with nothing coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Number 10 is motion to approve General Purpose School Fund Budget Amendment 141-11, items 1 through 14, in the amount of $3,132,786.11, with $750,000 coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Hughes, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Number 11 is motion to approve School Federal Projects Fund Budget Amendment 142-8, items 1 through 6, in the amount of $90,965.84, with nothing coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Hughes, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Number 12 is motion to approve Head Start Fund Budget Amendment 145-4, item 1, in the amount of $36,553.71, with nothing coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
13 is motion to approve Education Capital Project Fund Budget Amendment 177-5,
Item 1, in the amount of $1,835,578.59, with nothing coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Second by Commissioner Hughes. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
14 is the motion to approve Helene Bond Fund Budget Amendment 180-8, items 1 through 8, in the amount of $3,763,943.17, with nothing coming from reserve accounts and $1,837,480.17 coming from the Helene Bond proceeds.
Second by Commissioner Hughes. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
15 is a motion to approve the animal shelter monetary donations in the amount of $28,376.
Second,
Rose.
Back.
Rose. Yeah, just got kicked out.
second by somebody.
I'll second.
Oh.
Well, we almost made it.
Our motion's at the board.
Hour.
Went too fast.
It's still, bro. I'll get Bill Brown. You know what? There's something you can do in your last month, pay the passage about $1 million worth of. There you go.
Hey, I'm up. Well, now that it's hit you, I think.
Funded. I'm out again. I'm out again. Crazy.
Please wait for me to start. There you go. Not fixed.
She's doing okay.
Is that what it is?
There was something because
I'll leave the house tomorrow. I'll show you.
They used to do that.
I'll see. I've caught the Tennessee dreaded dusty. Yeah, tell me about it. Right now, you can't get it.
Thomas, what when she does.
It's off.
When you were like, no, I don't do it, like if we win.
About 6 days. Watch me. Bluff. Because you know what we got. You do it now?
Is there any discussion? Let's vote.
We gotta get back in.
Hey, me and Ronnie.
I think I
That's where it's supposed to
We're sure I. Yeah, it's still no cut down. People need to change speed limits. It worked there. That's just.
Ms. Childers, is that all right if we keep Commissioner Holtzclaw as the second? I'm afraid it might.
Don't touch anything.
Okay, all right, let's vote.
Anger not over. Yeah, I forgot all of that. Why we just vote on it?
All right, thank you. Motion passed.
Number 16 is motion to approve the animal shelter non-monetary donations totaling $200.
Change it on the minutes.
Okay, we're gonna change it to, we can change it. We have made the motion. Commissioner Thomas made the second.
Sorry, we just must have pressed it at the same time.
Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
That's all for the budget committee. Thank you.
For the Financial Management Committee, we've got, first one up is a motion to approve the fiscal year 27 grant contract between the state of Tennessee, Department of Health, and Carter County Government in the amount of $933,636 and no pennies.
Second by Commissioner Hughes. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Next up is a motion to approve the updated copy of page 8, section 3.5 bereavement leave of the Carter County Employee Handbook.
Second by Commissioner Holtzclaw. Is there any discussion?
It's kind of backwards.
Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Next up is a motion to approve the updated copy of page 20, section 6.0 medical insurance of the Carter County Employee Handbook.
Second by Commissioner Hughes. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Next up, motion to acknowledge the fiscal year 25 audit results as presented by the Tennessee Comptroller's Office. Okay.
Motion by Commissioner Hughes, second by Commissioner Frazier. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Next up, motion to approve the contract agreement between East Tennessee State University and Carter County, Tennessee for forensic pathology consulting services.
Second by Commissioner, Dr. Thomas, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Next up, motion to approve the request to declare county property as surplus from the animal shelter dated 5/13/2026.
Second by Commissioner Hughes, is there any discussion?
I'm not absent. Present, but it's not showing up here. Right now. Sorry.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, motion passed.
Motion to approve the inventory property disposition from building and grounds dated 5/28/2016.
Second by Commissioner Hughes, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Buildings and ground.
I reckon that's really.
Be used as a site for new Carter County Archives building, and the county begin the process to hire an architect and design the building.
Second by Commissioner Frazier, any discussion?
I'd like to explain a little bit. As part of the committee, we've been looking for this building for the Environmental Commission. We haven't been able to locate one that's been suitable. We're large enough or in an area that is not in a flood zone. So we're making this recommendation because we have exhausted all options.
Thank you, Commissioner Cable.
I just had a comment. We're gonna take the valuable records, of this county, whole history of this county, and we're gonna archive it on Arnie Hill. Has anybody looked at the possibility of how much crime takes place in that corridor? It's a high-density zone for crime. The Arnie Hill Apartments, Blue Ridge Circle, Lynn Avenue, South Hill, the West G Street corridor is a high-density crime and call zone. It has a high police call volume. It has both more disturbance than any other corridor in the county or in the city. It has more drug-related calls and more theft and more vandalism.
Sheriff, would you like to address that?
No, sir.
Billy?
Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Ms. Range,
Sheriff's Department's occupied property up there for 13 years, maybe more. had equipment up there, we've had office up there, we still do. We have never had one incident of vandalism or theft, trashing the parking lot or anything else of that nature. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's been secure for us for 13 years.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Hughes.
First, I'd like to ask Mr. Cable, where did you get your information from?
It come from, AI.
Okay, well, it was completely inaccurate. The PRC buildings up there have a full-time police officer during the daytime, Monday through Friday. It is that is their sole jurisdiction up there at Pine Ridge. The housing development pays for that officer to be solely there. Yes, there is an increase, like there is a little bit of call volume up there, but you're gonna get that in any place where you have a lot of apartment buildings together. It's just what happens because you have little accidents in the parking lot. You can speak to the management of PRC and ask them about their rules. They're very, very strict on if someone gets arrested, if there's crime up there, that person will be evicted immediately. I yield.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, I'd like to comment. This is not my pick of where I would personally want this, but we have exhausted just about every place we could think of, and this has gone on for several years. If there's no other discussion.
Make another comment too. I went and looked at our records that we have up on 91 today. And we've been discussing a 10,000 square foot building since this discussion has started. 10,000 square feet will not begin to hold what we are currently sitting on. So wherever we go, it's gonna have to be a place where we can build a big enough space with room for expansion. And Arnie Hill fits that bill.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Mr. Kim?
It's not a discussion, this is just a motion that we're going to look at. This is not saying we're going to put it there, is it?
Well, according to what's listed, we're recommending that the county begin the process to hire an architect to design the building, so.
That is.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, let's vote. All right, motion passes. 2 noes.
And next, we would like for the full commission to consider the future uses of the Folsom House and property. We have, as a committee, been working on that again. I've been on the commission. We have Wood there, we have done everything I knew of. Family was here a month or two back and talked to us with it, about it, and what it was. We don't have any solid push for one way or another. What we would like to do is have the entire commission consider what to do.
I'm still open for discussion. Commissioners?
This is one thing I'd like for our county attorney to tell anybody in here what the,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. What the deed says, you got 2 options. You either fix it up and make it his office or tear it down. There is all that's left. There is no third. Correct, sir?
Yes, under the deed from 50 years ago, the property was deeded to the county with the agreement that it would be torn down. Sometime later, there was a gentleman's agreement that there's really no documentation of other than newspapers and people's memories that allowed the agricultural office to locate there. And as long as it was used as a county office, that we didn't have to tear it down. The original deed said if we didn't tear it down, it went back to the family. Of course, those folks are now, the original folks are deceased and we're down to kids. Those are the folks that came in and looked at it with the committee, and frankly, that was their suggestion, to my recollection, was either maintain it, use it as a county office, or tear it down according to what their relatives had wanted originally. So, legally, it's none of my business what you all do, or what you think is right historically or any of that, but legally speaking, either fix it, maintain it properly, and use it as a county office, or tear it down. That's our legal options.
Mr. Johnson said.
Yeah, I just wanted to, because everybody, there was so many cans kicked down the road and every kind of options were not, there was two options. Maybe I'll place it in a motion, we demo the building.
Let's let the others.
Okay, fine, because I don't get it one way or the other.
Mr. Thomas.
So I think most people in this room would like to keep it as a historical building, but correct me, we own it, but no one at this point has gone in since the flood to assess and give us a cost estimate of what it would cost to get it back up to speed.
Now, a professional opinion, no, the committee toured it, and there's been Ron, the supervisor of the building ground stuff here, has looked at it, and I think maybe planning, maybe a long time ago looked at it. But to my knowledge, there's been no professional report or inspection engineer report that I'm not aware of that.
And Roland's not qualified to give us that estimate. I don't know, I'm
not personally aware of his qualifications. I'm not, but I'm not sure what his qualifications are, to be honest with you.
Mr. Thomas, do you yield?
Yeah, let me ask one more question. Has the budget committee determined how much it would cost for us to hire someone to give us an assessment of the building?
And that's a hole in our budget, and they ask if the budget committee wants to do it. That's real smart.
I'm not saying do it, I'm just saying has.
Even to think about it, you don't have it.
I yield.
Mr. Clausen.
If it's a gentleman's agreement between the family and us, if we went and restored this and spent millions of dollars, fixed this back and used it as offices, if it's not in the deed, could the family just come and take that house if we don't tear it down?
Theoretically, yes. I mean, there's obviously legal theories of sitting on your hands for 50 years, but regardless of that, the family did indicate that if that commitment were made, they would formally sign a deed or an agreement, so that wouldn't happen. So money wouldn't be spent to come and take it back. So I don't believe that was ever their intention.
But I mean, if they passed and their kids got it down the road, I mean, that's something they
Sure, that's the whole reason it was brought up is, we need to clear that issue up. It's still lingering there and it's not cut and dry. Like I said, we're kind of, both sides are still in the same murky boat right now. But certainly before any funds was committed to that would need to be formally rectified.
I yield.
Well, the family was here and we toured the house, and afterwards came back and had a meeting. There was some discussion on what to do with the house, and there was a light discussion, a small discussion on tearing the house down and using parts of the house to build a gazebo and establish that as a small walking park, sit-down park. gazebo. And the family was not against that. They did say, whatever we did, they would be with. They didn't object to it. Of course, they would probably rather see the house restored. But the question is, we spent money to hire an engineer, and I don't have any idea how much that would cost. Or do we spend money to remove the house? And the strap that we're in as far as budget constraints are right now, I don't see any way to spend unqualified or use for unknown amount of money for an engineering firm. I can't see. The family was not against making a small park out there, using some of the front of the house as a gazebo and using maybe parts of the house, such as the medallion inside the gazebo.
Commissioner Range?
I'd just like to emphasize, I made that suggestion and they weren't against it. But the one thing they did want was a decision made, one way or the other. They didn't want it kicked down the road. They wanted this issue done and over with, whichever way you go with it. They want it done. And I just wanted to remind everyone of that.
Okay, is anybody else? Okay, I have a question then. If it is torn down, who is gonna pay for that? How is we gonna pay for it? And how much is it gonna cost?
That's the thing. We don't have the money in the budget to hire an engineer. We don't have the money in the budget to tear it down, per se. Of the two, the demolition will be the less expensive.
Or we can wait till Halloween, we can take care of it then.
And as of right now,
If I understand correctly, legally, if we tear it down, then we're gonna be responsible for tearing it down.
Oh, yes. Yes, the agreement was that the county would tear it down 50 years ago.
So that.
Absolutely. If we tear it down, we're in compliance with every written agreement there is. So
That
that's
money's got to come from somewhere then.
absolutely, but we continue to own the property. We own the underlying property to use for whatever purpose that, you all see fit.
I'm not sure which, Mr. Frazier or Mr. Smith was first.
I was.
Mr. Smith.
As far as tearing it down, I think we all know what happens to homes that are not occupied. If we don't make a decision, gravity's gonna make the decision for us. And either way, we're gonna be responsible to clean it up. How you?
Mr. Frazier?
Tearing down historic buildings has always been a bad idea. In and out. Somebody talked about the Linwood Hotel. Why was that torn down? How many other historic buildings have we torn down in this town? Because we don't want to pay, or we want something shiny and new. Stuff like this doesn't come around all the time. Tearing down historic buildings is a horrible, horrible idea.
And we also need to consider that the tree is there. We'll lose the tree, we'll lose the house.
the house isn't connected to the tree.
I know, but it's close enough that it's gonna be in the area.
We can demo that house without touching that tree.
Okay, well, but here's the other thing I keep thinking. It's right downtown. We keep thinking about tourism. It's in a flood zone, so that's a bad thing. But could it be a community museum? Could it be something that would draw people, to it? And I've been in lots of little communities where they've done just that. They've made it the little city museum. I agree with Aaron, tearing it down, I think it would leave a big hole in the town. I've been in it when it was UT Extension. It was one of the first places we went when we moved over here. We biked down there just to see the house. it's quite a building, so we don't have money. This is the problem. But has anyone reached out to Historical Society to grant people that we can just see if anyone could come in at least give us an idea of what we're dealing with? I mean, we can't, to me, making a decision when we don't have a clue to what's required to get it up to speed seems a little foolhardy, maybe? I yield.
Commissioner Smith?
I want to remind everybody too, the Folsom House was on the list for action well before the flood came through. When we took office, we were discussing on what to do with UT Extension because we needed to get them out of that building. Am I correct? So it's not like it's something that the flood caused and the flood caused a response. We were working on the problem and trying to find remedies to get them out of that building long before the flood was even a discussion. I yield.
This is an odd thought thing, but the city of Elizabethton uses that for their tree lighting. They're very focused around that. I'm wondering, would they be interested in helping us restore that? They have a lot of contractors in their system. You know, wonder if anybody would be willing to do some pro bono work to be able to save the Folsom House. I don't know, I'm trying to think outside the box. I love old houses and I hate to see them torn down, but I also know the kind of shape that was in when the UT Extension office was in there, as far as the second story. The house itself is built very solid. Anybody that's been underneath it knows that. But there's also folks out there that will bid out to take that house down for the lumber that is in it. Those beams in the bottom are worth a fortune. If they turned out to be wormy chestnut, which tended to be the choice product back at that time, it's untelling what the house would be worth to be taken down piece at a time. So there's a few options to save us money, but I mean, I'm wondering, would a partnership, Elizabethton's always wanting to partner with something, so I'm wondering would they be curious, you know, really interested in this. So just throwing that out there.
Commissioner Hughes was next.
Would you mind if I recognize someone from the Historical Society that could address, because they have looked into.
Yes, I have looked into, I've talked to the Tennessee Historical Commission, which I've sent you the letter that they sent about restoring the house and then it could be restored. There are grants available. The house has to have a purpose. You can't ask for a grant for a house that's just sitting there. So this time around, I couldn't ask for any grants, even though they pretty much promised me that we would be on the list for sure. The other thing that we have, and I have proposed to Building and Grounds, is to take the money that the archive committee has. They can do the assessment on the building, the architect, and behind it utilize those offices, the house, for the intake and all of the offices, which is, I'm thinking it's what, 3,000 square feet? I'm not positive the square footage of the house. And behind it, build up out of the floodplain, the area for the records, to store the records in. And I will remind you that right now, as we sit, our records are in a flood zone. They're here in the courthouse. They're in the flood zone. They're at the jail. That's a flood zone. So, you know, I would like to just tell you just a slight little bit of history for that house. We are very unique in the fact that the Folsoms, there was a Confederate and a Union right across the street from each other. They were in the same lodge. They were in the Mason Lodge together. And it was very highly unusual to have a Confederate house and a Union house across the street. That is a huge draw for tourism. And to tear that house down, it stood since 1861. It's been through 4 of the major floods and has never fallen down.
Do you know of any resources that would be available from like state or something that could come in as an engineer and tell us?
I would have to look into that. You have to pay somebody. And also, the other thing is that house is in the city historic district. So in order to tear it down, you have to have permission from the city as well.
Yeah, that was another question.
And they will require a structural engineer to look at the house.
Thank you.
I've already talked to them. Yes, thank you.
City funds off, Bill. Two things. The upstairs is not as bad as I expected to find it. The problem comes from one of the guttering come up against the house and leak it on the inside, and in one of the corners, the floor is soft. But most of the grants are 60, 40.
Sometimes 60, 40.
50.
Yeah, sometimes more.
60, 40, 50, 50 grants. So whatever you would be putting into it, you would be getting at least an equal dollar back on the restoration side of it. And like she said, the city's going to require us to have a structural engineer come in and look at it anyway before we tear it down.
Sorry.
I just
It
wanted
pops
to-
up and I don't see it fast enough, so.
That's okay. I just wanted to say, there is a gentleman from Watauga, Charlie Norman, and that's what he does and has done for years, is do and restore, repair and restore like log homes, old homes built with the big beams and things like that. I don't know if he's, certified to give a quote or anything, but it might be just a shot just to talk to him and see, what he thought. And, if maybe he would be willing to work on it if possible. Just a thought.
I can reach out to him.
Do you know him?
Here's mine.
We had a gentleman came in one time from, I think he was up in Brownville, restoring buildings up there. And he talked to the committee about doing it. But he had a situation where he wanted to have control of the building to do it. And he was estimating that it would take in the neighborhood of $1 million or $1.5 million to bring it back to what he would call, period. And he does that for a living. So I would say his estimate is pretty close. Do we have $1.5 million? I don't think the city of Elizabethton's willing to put that money into it because they have made no effort to contact us about it. The historical committee, I haven't heard from them other than it's a bad idea. And it is. I don't want to destroy history, but the stipulations are we either tear it down or use it for county offices. I don't think a museum would fit the bill as a county office. We don't want to raise it because of the cost of raising it. We don't want to try to build a building back there because it will not put enough building in that lot to cover any amount of the archives. I don't see any choice but to remove it. As it's an idea, I don't see any other way to do it financially.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, so we either make a motion or we send it back to that committee.
Madam Chair, I make a motion it be demolition. Or just keep this can on.
Just make a motion that it.
Well, I'll second.
Mr. Wynn seconded. We went through discussion already, but if no one else has spoken. And that will be paid for,
Well, it's ours. It don't have to be paid for us. No, it's yours.
the balance happen.
It don't say when you have to do it. It says it will be demolition.
Motion is just a demolition of the whole house.
That's what his motion is.
So then who seconded? Who seconded?
Okay.
Kelly, in the event that we can find someone that's willing to tear it down, make a bid for the wood that's in it, because it is valuable wood rather than demolition wood. Can we amend that, motion? Would you be willing to amend that to, if we can find someone that's willing to bid?
I have no objection, no, you can't get it done. Now, you've been in here 45 minutes and we've heard every grandmother's story in the world. The record says tear it down or use it in the office.
We
can tear it down when it comes that time. Yes.
And sell the wood out of it.
Yes, it'd be a good idea. Take the windows, take the doors, take the mantles out of it, items that can be reused. Wood craftsmen, I think, can use some of that beam work and repurpose it. It's a great thing.
That's really down the road.
There's an obligation
Yes.
to let the family members get some of that stuff specified. So it wouldn't be that you could just cherry pick the valuable items that, without them agreeing.
Yeah, well, that's great. We just can't ever get it there. I mean, you can say,
If this
listen,
passes, this would still need to go before the historic.
Yes, that's my understanding. I mean, you're gonna have to get that process completed, whatever that may entail, to get their approval before you move forward with a construction plan. And of course, I mean, obviously, the funding would probably come from fund balance. It's not in the budget. But that funding would, you'd have to go through a bid process because I would imagine it's going to exceed the bid threshold.
Okay, the motion is to tear down Folsom House. And then I'm assuming after that, whether it passes, if it passes, then it'll have to be sent on to the historic city, Elizabeth, correct?
You have to have their permission, yes, under their procedures in the city of Elizabeth, yes.
Okay, so does everybody understand what we're voting on? So. Motion fails. So I suggest this goes back to committee. And that committee comes up with a plan.
see how.
Alright, next, highway committee.
I need a motion to reduce the speed limit on C Grindstone Road from the default countywide speed limit is 35 mile an hour unless otherwise posted. This needs to be changed to 20. This road is practically a one-lane road. Safest thing to do.
Second by Commissioner Wade, any discussion? I understand that residents on this road have also agreed to this. There was just a few,
It's very, like, 6 or 8 people on the road.
those residents also agreed to it.
I have the signed petition at the shop, that might lived on there, owns that, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't know if they signed it or if they,
They've got a signed address, name, all that yards.
okay. All right, is there any discussion then? All right, let's vote. Motion passes. Thanks. Speed limit. All right, any other committee that wanted to speak? All right, county attorney. Report.
All right, so as usual, the written report will be in the minutes. I'm gonna skip the usual spiel because I got something tonight that will take a little bit of time. So I want to do the update on the new laws that passed this year, like I do every year, just so you all will be aware. Obviously, there's hundreds, but I tried to pick out the ones of interest to the county commission. So just one is Public Chapter 1115, which is in effect now as of May 25th. This changes a fee to go to crime victims. So a couple of years ago, actually more than a couple now, in 2019, the county commission approved the use of this fee. It was divided in half. The fee was $45, tacked on to fines and costs of criminal cases. There was a $3 processing fee that the clerk kept. The $42 was divided. 21 went to Shepherd's Inn, 21 went to the Children's Advocacy Center. So that fee now has increased as of May of this year from $45 to $110. The $15 is a processing and handling fee kept by the clerk. So you've got $110 to split. The wording of the law is that it's going to go the same way as you previously did it, unless you all decide to change it. So as of now, the clerk would be notified, the fee collected would be split equally between the Shepherd's Inn and the Children's Advocacy Center. So unless you all make a later decision to change that, that's going to start happening, and that will increase the funding of those two bodies. All right.
One question on that one, Josh. You said the fee went up to 110, and then the clerk's fee is now $15. So that would be $95 that would be split between those two organizations? Or is the fee now 125?
Assessment fee, in addition to the first. Yeah, it's 125. Yeah, $125 total, 15 processing, 110 split between the two.
Thank you.
And obviously, I don't have all this for you, and I didn't print all this out. I'll give it to anybody that wants it. I can send you all an email or whatever. I'm just trying to hit the high points on the summary. So next, there was a few different disaster-related bills that passed. Of note, Public Chapter 591, which is in effect now, exempts statutory requirements related to procurement in disaster situations. So that's obviously relevant to us now, and it is in effect now and going forward. The state still has a right to inspect businesses that you do business with, contractors and subcontractors, but the procurement procedures are not. They're exempted in those disaster situations. Public Chapter 957 goes into effect on July 1. This is a training requirement. I'm sure the EMA director is aware, but I'll send it to her too. All the employees of the EMA have to go through TEMA training on mutual aid and emergency and disaster assistance. And the bill actually recommends that the chief of each police department, sheriff's department, the sheriff, the fire departments, public works, highway, finance office staff also complete this training. Encouraged to designate employees to receive that training, and TEMA will document the completion of the training. So required of all the EMA folks, suggested for basically other department heads within the county. And that starts on July 1. So it's not fully there yet, but there's a constitutional amendment proposed that starting in 2032, elections would be in November for county officers instead of August to consolidate those. 2032 would start the assessor election. 2034 would be all the other county officers. If that gets fully ratified, that's a future thing. Public Chapter 620 now requires public comments be allowed at every meeting for anything germane to the jurisdiction of the governing body. No matter what's on the agenda, anything that you all could do as a body, comment must be allowed now. That's in effect right now. Public Chapter 596 now prohibits an individual holding an elected government office from holding any other elected office in the state. Everybody who's in office right now up until January 1 of 27 is grandfathered in. Other than that, and they can keep getting reelected. But if you're not in office on that day, you can never hold two elected offices at once. Public Chapter 599 now requires the commission to adopt rules of procedure every time there's a new commissioner. So we've got our rules of procedure that we've had for several years, but it now has to be not just amended by 2/3 vote. Every time we have a new commission come in, so this September, within 90 days, you must reapprove the entire procedure handbook every 4 years. Then, during that term, it has to be 2/3 vote to amend it, but you've got to start fresh every 4 years. So that's
It was 597, Josh, on that one?
That's 599.
599, thank you.
And 699, most notably adds school boards to the list of folks who have to have their meeting agendas out 48 hours before. But for our purposes, it still includes, as it did last year, the full legislative body, the planning commission, the board of zoning appeals, the election commission, the budget committee. Always included those. But they threw in a catch-all now that says any other governing body that has authority to make binding decisions or the ability to appropriate funds. So, at least for our purposes, the landfill committee has the authority to make binding decisions. Under private act, the landfill committee runs the landfill. So, the landfill committee now will need to publicly post the agendas for your meetings at least 48 hours in advance. Public Chapter 1106 regarding immigration. We are now, as a local government, required to verify on any form any sort of benefits. So this would be mainly like the health department must verify folks are a U.S. citizen or legally present in the United States. And you must ask that question before you allow them to receive any sort of government benefit whatsoever. And that goes into effect July 1. On a related note, Public Chapter 772 requires that we as a government entity, before anyone is employed, we must verify through the federal E-Verify program that they are a legal United States citizen or all state funds. So there's apparently, I'm not familiar with it myself, an E-Verify program available for the federal government. So every office that employs anyone, that's effective, right? And that's it's effective as of July 1. You must check that before they can be employed. Public Chapter 895. There's a change to the open meeting law which would allow community meetings via electronic means. So there's some qualifications to it, but in the past, there's been interest here, and there have been, certain commissioners that want to hold a meeting in their community. So you can do that now and participate by electronic means if the full commission votes to permit that. Again, as with the other electronic participation things, it requires the equipment that's going to work to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time, participate electronically in real time, and provide a recording of the meeting to be posted on the website within 5 days, or 4 business days.
Repeat that one thing, participate?
Participation, if it would normally be allowed. These are not voting meetings. So it's basically informational meetings, but it allows it to be done on a public, electronic forum if those requirements are met. Basically live streamed and recorded and placed on the website within 4 business days. Public Chapter 1048. Now, another exception to the open meetings law allows executive sessions to interview applicants for director level staff. So in the past, all those have been open advertised meetings where folks are getting questioned and their resumes are reviewed. No longer required. Those can be executive sessions where only the voting members of the body are present with the applicant. Only will their materials be available for public review if they are selected. So those attempt to get the job and don't, theoretically won't lose the job they have now because nobody knows they applied. We got a couple more. Zoning in planning world, there was a public chapter 1090, which allows the planning commission to adopt a resolution prohibiting a city from exercising zoning authority outside of their existing boundaries. Don't know that that's very relevant here, could be, but the planning commission could take action on that to restrict that. And that's in effect right now. The next one is public chapter 1044. Also in the planning world requires development plans to be acted on within 60 days. If you fail to act you're supposed to provide feedback and any questions you have within 30 days. And if a decision isn't made on a development plan within 60 days, by default, it is approved. The last one wasn't really in the summary, but I found it anyway. Some people might care to know. The county mayor now has the power to order flags flown on county property at half-staff in honor of prominent citizens of this county. So it doesn't have to be a statewide or federal declaration. If a prominent citizen of Carter County passes away, the mayor can order our flags flown at half-staff. The city can do the same in the city. And that's it. Like I said, I can provide anybody any information about these they want. Just trying to give you a summary so you are aware.
Okay. Commissioner comments, and I'm on first. Number one, get your agendas set before the meetings, please. I get calls, emails, text, knock on the doors, want to know why the agenda is not ready for whatever committee. And quite frankly, I just have to stand there and apologize. So please, get your agendas ready before the actual meeting. Send them to the clerk's office so they can post it. Please have it ready before. Even some of you all have called me complaining that you didn't know what was going to happen in the meeting because you didn't have an agenda. And I agree with you that it is an issue. So please get those ready before. If it's an issue, then ask your vice chair to help you. It's part of their job also to help, okay? And if you're absent, wouldn't be absent from a meeting, please call one of your fellow commissioners. Means they didn't have enough going on, so they didn't have a meeting. Okay, I I know it's vacation time, and I also know there's been a lot of sickness and unexpected things. But please do your best to try to call if you can't be at the meeting. Check the July calendar, meetings, to make sure nothing's been left off. And your 8 hours for your, I don't know if you call it in-service or
Continue education.
continuing, is, if I'm correct here, and I certainly could be wrong, but we voted by June the 30th. You don't have it done by June the 30th, then you don't get the stipend. Okay, that's the 8 hours videos that you can watch, okay? Just letting everybody know that most of you have done it. Some of you haven't. I think they have till the end.
I think they had till the end of August by law, but our local procedure to get the stipend is June 30.
Right. But we want you to get it finished by August because we don't want it to be an audit finding. Is that also correct?
Yeah, but that runs in arrears, so sometimes the ones that get it done later, they don't get counted. Fortunately, it still comes up in the audit.
After June.
July 1st.
So if you've not done that, please do that. That will help out a whole lot. I think that is it for me. Okay, now, Mr. H, there.
Oh, no. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was gonna let you all speak, but I wanted to go first, but sometimes you don't hear everybody here. And I feel that we need to, little housekeeping things we need to take care of. Is there any other commissioners that would like to speak?
Motion to adjourn.
Go ahead. I just want to say something real quick. The software, ever since we did the upgrade a couple months ago, this is the second month in a row that halfway through the meeting, the software is locked up. So me and Gwen will be contacting Open Meeting and having them look at side software and find out what's going on.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yes, I got it.
I won't have